In this video, I wanted to do a quick shout out to Rodolfo, who on X Twitter just the other day had a generous offer to create what he calls mini plugins for WooCommerce. So you give him one feature, one function that you always wished that WooCommerce had. So a pain point you have with WooCommerce, and he would go and generate one of these mini plugins, and then he would create up to 5 of those. Okay, so I jumped on the offer right away. I might have been the first one. Doesn't really matter. But I was one of the 5, and I asked for a plugin that added a customer's billing email address to a column in both the orders table, the WooCommerce orders table, and the WooCommerce subscriptions table. So and make that sortable. So it's going to add their billing email address and then a sortable into a column, and that column is sortable. So that was a pain point that I had, and he was kind enough to quickly turn that around into a mini plugin. So I wanted to do a quick thank you to him for taking the time to do that, because even though it has the word mini in the word, so mini plugin, it's not super simple to do this stuff. I know it's not. So I'm very grateful for what he did. So over on businessbloomer.com, you can see all of the stuff that he's doing. And up here in the navigation area, we've got WooCommerce plugins, and you can see all of these mini plugins that he creates. Okay. And another thing to keep in mind here is that it's, again, the word mini, don't let that like trip you up and think, oh, there's not that much to this. You got to think about other things. Like you got to think about security. You got to think about just making the thing work, right? And then security. And then how does it work with like HPOS, so high performance order storage? All of those things he takes into account, which is just awesome, right? So it's much more than just a simple code snippet, in other words. Okay, so anyway, go to businessbloomer.com and check out all of the things that he does. For years, he's done a ton of free content. Okay, so a very generous human being. So let's go ahead and take a look at actually what it is that he created. So I have a test site here, and under WooCommerce, and then orders. We've got a few orders in here, but you'll see there's no email address. And if I go under screen options, there's no option here to display their email address. Okay. And the same thing, if you go over to WooCommerce subscriptions, again, no email address, no option to display that. All right. So with his mini plugins, let's go to plugins, BusinessBloomer WooCommerce billing email column. Let's activate that. Now let's go back over to WooCommerce and orders. And there we go. We have a billing email column. All of the email addresses are in there, and then sortable, in order of their name, right? Alphabetical order. Okay, going over to subscriptions, same thing. Super, super cool. Let's see if we go under plugins. I think this is the only way to get to the settings of his plugin. So if you go under plugins and then settings, you can see some options here. So there's a quick link to some docs if you need premium support for anything, if you want to do a review, which is what I'm doing right here, basically. And then you can enable the billing in the orders table, the subscriptions table, make it sortable. And then this I haven't tested yet, show email as a clickable mail to link. So let's click on that. And let's pull up the orders table real quick. So you see how it's just the email there? That's just going to take you into the actual order. So what I think this is going to do, just by the sound of it, it's going to turn this into an actual link that you can like directly email the customer. So let's go turn that on, refresh. There we go. You see how that lights up to that blue link color? So now when we click that, that's going to pull up our email program application. And there we go. Okay. Super, super cool. And you can still go right over here to get to the order. So you don't need that duplicate functionality of just going into the order in both of these places. Again, this will fire up the email client just like that. Super, super cool. Thanks again, Rodolfo, for taking the time to do this. I know like you got to stop the work that you're doing. You had to make the offer to begin with. You got to stop the work that you're doing. You got to create the solution. potentially solve issues with the solution based on different websites, which you had to do for me. Republish the new solution. I know how much time this stuff takes, and I'm very appreciative of all of it. And thanks again. And check out Rodolfo's stuff on businessbloomer.com. See you guys later.